Hey there, Mama, and welcome back to the Moms Overcoming Overwhelm podcast. I'm Emily McDermott, and I'm here beside you on this journey as we work together to declutter your home, head, and heart. I'm bringing you another bonus episode today. We do these on a monthly basis with my friend Michelle Byrd from The Busy Vibrant Mom, and this is our 15th episode. And in this episode, we're talking about my recent move because it's been very impactful on me and also a bit stressful, but also generally about how we can navigate summer as a busy mom. Also, if you have kind of that summer bucket list of all the things that you want to do with the kids, but then it's seeming overwhelming, how we can just kind of do sort of a more fun version of that. And we're just really talking about how to navigate this season with kids at home and things going on. This is our monthly kind of mom coffee talk where we just really spell out how things are going and keep it real. So I hope that you enjoy it. I hope you're enjoying your summer. I know that a lot of times people are not necessarily having the time to listen to podcasts over the summer, so I really appreciate you. And without further ado, grab that coffee or tea and let's dive into the conversation with me and my friend Michelle Byrd. Hey Mama, are you tired of your cluttered home and mile-long to-do lists but are too overwhelmed to know where to start? Do you lack the time and motivation and don't think you'll ever conquer the clutter? You're in the right place. I'm Emily, wife, boy mom, and declutter coach who has overcome the overwhelm in my own life through decluttering and simplifying. I believe every mom deserves the peace that comes from a clutter-free home. Ready to get your life back? Let's declutter your home, head, and heart together.
Hey friends! Welcome back. We have another episode of Coffee and Tea with M&E, and we have Emily McDermott. She is going to be talking today. She has lots of fun things to share, lots of life stuff. So we can just jump in.
Hey, Michelle. Now I'm in a completely different room, which I hope is interesting because this is the first thing I've recorded in this room. So it's exciting.
It's exciting. Okay, so tell us about your new house.
Yes.
Yes.
I do. Yes, we really like it a lot. There have been not too many hiccups, a couple little hiccups along the way, which is totally normal. It would be very strange if it was a completely seamless move with like no issues whatsoever. But we really like the neighborhood. We're super close to our parents, and the boys have really been enjoying it. They have like a yard. So they've, I mean, we all have a yard, but they've been looking at like animals, like, bunnies and rabbits and hedgehogs and birds and whatever. And one of the kind of blips on the radar was that we thought we couldn't park my car in the garage, which was kind of a problem. And my husband ended up taking some of like the paint off on the sides when he was trying to park it. But turns out if you put my mirrors in, which unfortunately I have to do manually, we can park it in the garage because I just thought it was really funny that I haven't ever had a garage. And then we finally did. And I was like, I have to be able to park my car in the garage because it like actually snows here a lot more, And, but yeah, we figured that out. So that was kind of one hurdle. And then besides that, it's just like getting furniture for the house, like deciding where we want things to go. We have we have to get a couch. We have to like decorate, like all of these things are not really my forte, but I am actually hiring someone that was recommended to kind of like just talk through it. And it's kind of funny with all the work that I do with decluttering, where I help people like create their vision and plan for their space. It's like I'm doing the same thing, but it's kind of like with the furniture and the decor and fabrics and the things that I really don't like doing. But it is fun to have a blank slate, to just be able to like create the home how we want it to be. And so that's really been a blessing. So yeah, overall, it's going really well.
Exciting. I just think of Danny Watson. And so she does all the design stuff. I just think of all of her insight and stuff like that. I know I sent her a picture of our bookshelf a while ago, and we moved one piece of furniture and had room for it. And then I was like, Danny, what should I do to style my bookshelf? And she was like, well, do a few little things. And so as I started putting things on it very carefully, I'd send her pictures, but yeah, it can be really fun and very overwhelming, I think, at the same time, because it feels like you just moved in and you have all these decisions that you're already making, right? You're already kind of decision fatigued. And then to be like, oh, now I need to make this new space.
Yeah, because we would ideally like to be able to host things here, like family get-togethers. But right now, without a couch in the living room or the family room, we like have nowhere for anyone to sit. So it's like, okay, we can prioritize, like what's important. And also, the other part is that, I'm going to be starting to work with my husband. So I'm starting to train and onboard. And we have the office warehouse space. He has his van. Like, there's all of these new things going on for the business. And that's a whole other new part of my life, having to kind of integrate that. So that has been one of those things where I just have been having to force myself to take things literally one step at a time so that I don't spiral. Because it's like getting a driver's license, getting my car registered, like all of those adulting things and a new business. And what are we doing with the children, so that they don't drive us crazy? Because they haven't really been able to make a ton of friends. Like they've met some kids, but it's not like go to the neighbor's house for like 2 hours. We haven't built those connections yet because it takes time. And I just constantly am like, okay, it's okay. Like we are where we're at and we're just taking these very small, intentional, incremental steps. And it's okay if it takes a little longer, than we intended. But yeah, so far so good. I think the fact that we have like family here, that we know people here, that my husband and I grew up here, it already feels like home. And that is really great that it's like there's that peace that's kind of there amidst the chaos. And I'm very grateful for that.
Right. You already have a couple roots and they're strong roots, friends and family. So you can lean on them as you're getting these things like done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't feel like you need to do all that space. I know sometimes living in a home for a while, you realize
Mm.
what you want a space to look like or
Yeah.
how you want a space to work. And so sometimes it takes a little while living in it, like a year or so, to then think, oh, yeah, we do use this space in this way. And that would be helpful. For us, when we moved in, we had a dining room, but we didn't have any dining room furniture. We just had a chandelier, and so we would just let our kids play in there. We had a carpet, and like they just would play, and we didn't really care much for the room. And after a while, I think it was several years, then we got a dining room set and had people over. But you just figure out we have at the front of our house, we have a room that's supposed to be a formal living room. And so it has like a fireplace and like some French doors. And I was like, nobody's ever going to come into our house and go into this formal living room that's right at the very beginning of our house. And they're not going to, you have to walk down the hallway to get to the kitchen. Everybody's going to hang out in the kitchen and this way. Nobody's going to hang out over here. So we made it into an office. And so that's where my husband works most of the day. And sometimes I'm down there. But we just knew we'd never use this space as it was intended.
Yeah, I remember growing up, we had a very formal living room and we never were in there. Like the chairs were so uncomfortable. Like it would be like if we had to do, a timeout, like that would be like the torture place to go. And so for us, starting again from scratch, like luckily this place has its own office with like side by side desks, so built in. So my husband and
Nice.
I already have like workspaces, which is great. But yeah, we've never had a living room. And so I know for a fact, and my husband's like, oh yeah, we don't want anything like super formal. Like the piano is in there, but we do want it to be just kind of like an informal space. Maybe that's where we read, like that kind of thing. And to just realize you don't have to follow like these predetermined rules, like, oh, a living room must be formal. Like, no, you want, like you said, the space to work for you. And then also that there's no rush, like there's no
Right.
requirement that it has to be put together immediately, not only just because, like, oh, we should have it all together, but also financially speaking. I mean, we're putting a lot of money into this new business, and it's like we don't need to go blow like thousands and thousands of dollars on a bunch of furniture. So we're getting some furniture from my in-laws that they were looking to kind of get rid of some of their stuff, which is actually really nice. And that some of the pieces are going to tear. And perhaps, we'll have some upcoming furniture sales here over the summer so we can at least get a couch. Because, yeah, the couch is one of those like foundational things. It's like, okay, if we have a family room, having somewhere to sit in a family room is a priority. But then just looking at that, like the only thing that we need to do over the next couple weeks maybe is like buy a couch, and that'll be enough. And that takes the pressure off with like the other.
Yeah, definitely. We have friends who found a couch on Craigslist or something. It's a huge sectional, but they have a bigger house. They can do it. So they used it and they don't care as much about the couch because it was free. So their kids jump all over it. They move it into all kinds of different configurations. Like it's just, the giant couch that lives in their house. So do
Yeah.
whatever works for you.
Exactly. Exactly. And, and knowing my strengths and like what my strengths are not. And for me, like the decor and the use of colors and the kind of like the Danny brain, I don't have that kind of brain. But
I don't
then,
either.
like functionally speaking, like I ordered some under the vanity bins for our toiletries because it's like we had like these boxes of toiletries. And I'm like, I'm not putting them all in here loose. Like that will drive me
Yeah.
crazy. So I did, measure and got some bins that I'm happy with. And then I've been kind of organizing and that sort of thing. And that makes me feel calm, just kind of knowing like I'm starting to know where to find things and how things are configured and also making it work for me. And I think that's important. Even if you're not moving into a new space, it makes it easier when you do. However, the kitchen, for example, things are configured in a completely different way than the kitchen I was used to for 17 years. And there are several kitchen tools and gadgets that I don't remember ever buying. I think my husband did back when he like did a lot of the cooking when we first got married. And my wonderful mother-in-law and mom were trying to like put all of these gadgets in like one drawer. And it was like chaos. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go through and the things I actually use are going to go in here. And the rest is just going to be in this like miscellaneous kitchen box I'm going to put like in the basement. And the one time a year I might need that random kitchen gadget, sure, I'll get it out. Because I mean, it's stuff that I use, but just very infrequently. And so there's no rule that says like I have to have all my kitchen gadgets here or I have to have all my appliances here. We have some appliances in some of the cabinets in the office on the first floor because it's like they weren't fitting and the storage here is different. So make up your own rules and actually prioritize like the things that you actually use and don't be afraid to kind of put those things you don't use as often, have them be less accessible because you're probably not going to miss them. And then it makes it easier to find the things you actually do use on a regular basis.
Yeah, that is, mind boggling when you're like, I don't have to have all the kitchen stuff in the kitchen. Like, I just have to have the things that I use
Yeah.
in the kitchen. So, if your kitchen is a little bit smaller, or maybe it's organized differently and you don't have the same storage that you did before, or, you know, I feel like I was just looking at a drawer today and I was like, I don't think we ever opened that drawer. It's like a giant drawer and has like Tupperware and Pyrex in it. And I was like, I don't even think we even use anything in there. Like, we should probably go through it and dump half of it. But like one of those things you're like, do we even open that drawer? Or maybe you do, and it's so clogged that you're like, I can't even see what's in here.
Yeah, I noticed that with our pots and pans storage, which again, very different and probably about half the size that I was used to. And so pretty much like the lids, like you're trying to like stack the lids or nest the lids, and then the lids just end up falling and like going everywhere. And I was like, I'm not going to do this. And so I just put the lids in a different drawer, like on top of some like appliances we don't use that often. And I'm like, this is great. Because that way, when I need a skillet, I don't have to like go like over three lids to get the skillet that I use like on a daily basis, you
Right.
know? So again, it's not like the rule that like the things have to be nested and they have to be all together and all of that. It's really paying attention to. And I think one of the things that was helpful about the fact that most of our stuff was gone and then I had some basic kitchen stuff that I kept for that week is I really understand what I use now and what I don't. Like the spices I always use, the kitchen gadgets I always use, and the things that I don't, knowing that it's okay if those aren't as accessible. And I think this goes for really all areas of your home, but the kitchen is definitely more of those practical tools that you're either using or not using because most of us are doing like the same kind of cooking and food preparation typically. Like I'm not baking a bundt cake ever, so like
You
I
don't
don't
need
need
those
I
things.
don't need the bun pan front and center, but I use that one skillet like pretty much every day. So I need that to be easy. So it's that concept we talk about it all the time, you and I do, but the concept of friction, like understanding and
Right.
seeing where the friction is in your day as you're preparing things, like what could make this easier? What's currently making this difficult? Like asking yourself some of those questions and then realizing it doesn't have to look like everyone else. You can make your life easier by removing some of these friction points that you notice.
Yeah. I was laughing to myself because there's a pan that my husband uses every morning to cook eggs. And he got these special cookware that don't like flake off and they're made a certain way. And then you have to clean them a certain way. But he oils them. It's like all this whole thing. So he uses them to cook eggs. And then oftentimes we will use them again at lunchtime to cook chicken or something that we're having for lunch. But he doesn't want to have to clean the pan twice. But I hate looking in the kitchen and it's sitting out like, hasn't been clean, it's just sitting out. And so what he started doing, he just puts it away dirty. And so then because he knows it's looks clean, all the cabinets are clean, everything, but then he'll just take it out and use it for lunch and then put it in the sink and we'll wash it. Or if we're going to do dinner, then he use it for dinner. Then he like puts it away dirty because he's like, I'm only washing it once a day. I'm going to wash it later.
Yeah, that is a perfect example because most people feel like, wait a minute, what? Like, why would you put it away dirty? But you know that it's a system that works. Like, you know, you'll be using it again. And the chances and likelihood that it would be put away dirty and stay that way are very low because you're, using it constantly. I hate it when I like think the dishwasher has run and I just absentmindedly start putting away the dish. Like, you're not even thinking about it,
Right. You're
right?
just
You're just
starting
putting
to
it away.
put stuff.
Oh, and like halfway through the silverware drawer, you like have a piece of silverware and you're like, wait, this is dirty. And you're like, oh, crud. Like this didn't run. And then you're trying to figure out like the glasses and the
Right.
plates and the bowls that you totally just put back that were dirty. Oh my gosh, I cannot stand it when it happens. So I've tried
That
to
is the
make a
worst.
habit, especially with a new dishwasher too. Like the new appliances, like do different things, have different settings. So I'm like, okay, check to make sure the dishwasher ran before you actually start unloading it, which I usually do first thing in the morning. So it's like my brain's a little fuzzy anyway. But yeah, that is my pet peeve, like starting to put away dirty stuff and then realizing what I've done.
You would laugh. So we need to get a new dishwasher because oh my gosh, it sounds awful. It sounds like a jet engine taking off. And so you think, oh gosh, it's not going to work or it's going to explode or is there something what is that dishwasher doing? Every time you just pray that it's actually washing dishes and that it's not going to break and that come on, you could do it this last round. But it literally sounds awful. Steven took it apart and found like rocks in it and some other thing. And it still sounds awful, like it has rocks still. And so it's on its last leg. So we were just looking at dishwashers and refrigerators because our refrigerator is having issues now as well. The door won't close, doesn't really close. You have to make sure that it's closed. The ice maker doesn't work. And then if you do turn on the ice maker inside and don't have it like make ice for the outside, it forms these really long icicle crystals all the way down.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you definitely need some new appliances. I know. And the time of recording, it's right before 4th of July. So hopefully there's going to be some sales. Yeah.
And as we were looking on, we were like, okay, maybe let's measure. Because the other thing is our spot for the refrigerator is a built-in cabinet. And so we can't go any bigger or else we have to redo like the whole kitchen. And it's like, I don't want to redo the whole kitchen. I just want a new refrigerator. So we have to, make sure that it's a certain spec and that we can fit it in there. And the newer ones are bigger and bigger. And we're like,
Mhm.
it's a whole thing.
As I always like to say, yeah, the joys of home ownership. And the other thing is like my husband, when we were about to move, he was like, I don't want to deal with, lawn maintenance and whatever. But we wanted to have a yard because we wanted the kids to have someplace, right?
So useful.
So I am the de facto person in charge of the lawn, apparently, which is okay. But again, the inside of this house, when we bought it, like super nice, very well maintained. Outside, not so much. So it's kind of like, okay, how much do I want to try to do myself? How much do I want to get help and, like hire someone? And again, just knowing it doesn't have to be done like in a day. Like there's weeds everywhere. I'm trying to do like 15, 20 minutes a day of like weeding because it's just like so bad. But again, it's like it's something that's outside my normal routine. And when you have all of these things kind of vying for your attention, it's really having that grace with myself. Like, okay, I'm figuring out a lot right now. Like, it's amazing when you move into a new house, or maybe even if you go to a vacation house for like a week and you don't know where things are. Like, you're
Yeah.
looking in drawers, you're like, wait, where's the spatula? Like, where's this? And now I went from like one linen closet to like three linen closets.
Like,
So we
which
have,
one is it in?
I know, we have like one for blankets, one for towels, one for sheets. And am I appreciating the extra space? Definitely. But it's like putting away washcloths. I'm like, okay, is it number one, two, or three? And the amount of brain power and energy that is required to like remember where things go in a new space is just really taxing. So I'm like, it's like 6 o'clock and I'm like, why am I exhausted? Like, why do I want to go to sleep? And it's because my brain is just really learning new things, like how to get to the grocery store, like, all of these things. And it's again, recognizing these things and that it does take time. And even for the kids too, like they're acclimating to kind of their new environment. And so, yeah, this is definitely going to be a season of giving myself a lot of grace. And I have been, my husband's like, well, part of the reason we moved here is so you could ask for help, that you could get help, from our parents. And I have been asking for help and for their guidance and expertise because they've offered it. And I'm like, well, I'm going to need, I'm going to need some extra help here.
Probably so excited to help too. They're
Yeah.
probably like, I would love to be able to help. How can I help? Oh, do you want some furniture? Oh, do you need me to unpack a box? Like, they're happy to help you.
They are. And in fact, my mom went to, I think, Costco and she got a ton of different ice creams, like drumsticks and popsicles and all these things. And so we went over there and my mom's like, oh, well, I have drumsticks and ice cream sandwiches and popsicles and whatever. And the boys are like, can we have one of each? And I'm like, no, but she's pretty much, preparing and for all of the visits that the boys are going to have by buying all this ice cream. So I thought that was really, really sweet of her to
Getting
kind
so
of like
excited.
get so excited about the summer and, going to the pool and having all this ice cream and everything. But yeah, so that part has been really great because I think it's not that I never really asked parents for help before, or my in-laws for that matter, but having them so like the proximity, being so close, like knowing they could be here in 10 or 15 minutes is wonderful. And I don't know. It's something I never was going to want to move back home, like when I was like 18, 19, going to college. And I'm like, I'm going to Washington, D.C., and I'm not moving back to this small suburb. Like, that won't happen. And now I'm 45 and I'm like, oh, please, please let me move back so I can have help with my kids. So it's just funny how things change over time
Yeah.
when it comes to that.
Yeah. My husband's sister kind of, I think, had the same thing. She was like, got married and then they had a kid, and his parents wanted to move to DC to be close to them. They wanted to move as close as possible, but they took a while for them to find a house. And so at that point, his sister was like, I don't need any help. We need some space. We just got married. Like, give us some space. And then her little one is growing up and she's like, oh, I'm so glad they're here. Here, you can here you can pick up the kid. Here we can I'm running late from work. Can you go grab here? So the
Mm,
more that they can kind of step in, it really is handy.
yeah. Well, how are the summer rhythms going for you so far?
Good. I was saying that all of our vacations got squished into June, kind of on purpose, not on purpose. Some we had that we couldn't move. And then the kids, we signed up late for camp. And so the only weeks that were available were some in June. So we went to Hawaii. That was wonderful. We had a great time. We spent 2 weeks. So that was delightful. We went to two different islands and had a great time. We went to the Big Island and then we also went to Maui. And so it was fun. It was relaxing. And we came back and we had to catch up on work for a week. And then we went to North Carolina, and the time zone, I had not thought about this. We got on the Hawaii time zone that's 3 hours behind. We got on that time zone and we got used to going to bed really late and waking up at a medium time, but that was late for California time. And then we transitioned back to California time. We're still kind of on Hawaii time, a little off. And then we transitioned to North Carolina with just 3 hours ahead. So within a week, we went from being 3 hours behind to then 3 hours ahead. So it's a 6 hour difference. So we were kind of groggly. Like it took us a while to kind of get going. And then the transition back from North Carolina back here wasn't as bad because you're like 3 hours, you're mentally 3 hours ahead, your body is like 3 hours ahead. But we flew back from North Carolina, from Charlotte. We stayed in Charlotte, really close to the airport, like Friday night, flew back Saturday, came home by like noon or 1, and did grocery shopping and laundry, repacked. And then Sunday afternoon, we took the children to camp and we were like, bye.
Wow, what a whirlwind. Oh my gosh.
But they said that they had the best time, which was a huge praise because we don't usually sign up to go with other kids that they know. They just kind of go by themselves. So it's always a luck of the draw if they like find some good buddies. And it's so much harder with girls because they get in cliques. And so we dropped them off and we were dropping Ashley off. All the girls knew each other in her cabin and they all were all kind of cliquey that first day when we dropped her off. So we're like, oh gosh, is she going to have a good week? Like, I know she's strong enough. She'll be able to have a good week, but really, really will it be a good week? And then boys are just a lot easier. They just play sports or they just connect in different ways. So we dropped Bo off as well. And this is the first time they both went to the same camp the same week. So that was kind of interesting. Like, do you like being in camp together or do you not? Like, how did this work? So in the end, they really bonded with both their cabins. They had a great time. They want to come back this exact week next year because they made buddies and those people are going to come back that year. So I was like, well, that at least means that it went pretty well if you want to do it again.
Well, good. I'm glad they had a good experience. And then also, hopefully, like logistically, it makes it easier for you guys, having them be at the same camp the same week.
Yes, it does actually. And then our youngest is going to go to that same camp, but he goes the week they have junior high. And so he'll go actually the last week in July. And so it's just tricky getting in because they only have certain weeks that are high school or junior high. And so then they have, wait lists for that. And they opened it up and I didn't realize it was already open. And it was like, okay. But yeah, it was just crazy. But they did a great job with the transition and with all the things.
Good. And then besides your trips, did you have any like particular things that you wanted to do or see or anything this summer?
We did. So what we did with our youngest who was there, because we were like, okay, he's an extrovert and the other two are gone for camp all week and we both need to work. How are we going to work this out? So we took him to dinner, like a real fun dinner after we dropped those kiddos off at camp. And we all kind of hung out and said, okay, well, what do you want to do this next week? Do you want to get together with friends? Do you want to do something fun? Do you want to have fun movies in the evening? Do you want to have special dinners? Like what would kind of make this week fun that we could make it amazing, even though we have to work and your brother and sister are gone? So we're able to kind of do that. I think that's super helpful in like planning that next week and getting everybody excited about the week. We tend to do that dinner with whoever we're not dropping off at camp. And then when we pick the kids up from camp, we all go to Starbucks afterwards and we sit and have coffee and they tell us about camp and about the week before we drive home. Because once we're home, all the to-dos start, right? All projects start, all laundry starts, like all the things start. So taking those two kind of bookends, we found is super helpful because it lets us transition a bit better, have a better week with the one that's here. It all works.
I love those rituals. That sounds really nice. And then also a way, like you said, that they can kind of share and like reflect on the time that they had instead of just like, oh, okay, we went on these trips and you went to camp and came home and now it's like on to the next thing and on to the next thing. So yeah, I've been, the boys just had 1 week of vacation Bible school, but it was kind of a test, like meeting new kids, are they going to enjoy it? They're kind of on the older, more so Andrew being, going to fifth grade, kind of near the
Yeah.
end of like the time where you can even go to vacation Bible school. But they had a really good time and made some good connections, which is great. And then this week they're doing grandma and grandpa camp where they are spending time with both sets of grandparents during the day. So we have, pools and museums and outdoor stuff and trampoline parks and all the things. So that way I can get some dedicated time, to actually do some
Yeah.
of the things I need to do, some of the adulting things, but then also some of the work things. And then
Do
we
they
have,
switch off like every day they go to one grandparent and then
yeah.
the next?
Well, initially it was just going to be my parents, but then my in-laws were like, oh, well, we can participate too. And the boys were a little confused though, because last summer they actually stayed with the grandparents. They're like, wait a minute. So are we sleeping over? And I'm like, no, because remember, we now live 10 minutes away.
Right, we're
So
we're here now.
no. So you can sleep in your own beds, but yeah, they're kind of switching off between both sets of grandparents and visiting some family, on my
So
side. And
fun.
yeah, so I think that they're going to have a really fun time. And then again, it's just kind of a nice break for me and then also for Pat as he is kind of gearing up to he already actually has like a first couple clients, both referrals, one of them my dad and one a friend of his sisters. And so things are already kind of ramping up.
That's
And
great.
yeah, so I have to kind of get on my training since I'm supposed to be the office manager, but that's a blessing too, where, starting with referrals and hopefully more referrals is a great way to kind of start with like a lower risk, I guess, as you're
Right.
testing things out and especially with a completely new business and a completely new industry. So that is, yeah, going to be kind of over the next couple weeks. And then here they start back August 20th at school, which is kind of in line sort of with what we experienced in Virginia around the same time. And so I'm hoping that they can meet some friends that actually go to their school. Like they've met kids within the district, but haven't necessarily met kids yet, like at their actual school. And I think that that will help them kind of going in, especially since they're going to be at different schools so that they can hopefully feel a little bit more comfortable. It's really weird that a fifth grader is going to middle school to me. It just feels weird to say like, oh yeah, I technically have a middle schooler. And I just think about all of the additional, maybe not so much for most boys, I don't know, but like the additional emotional component that kind of goes into these
Yeah.
years that are coming up. And so I'm praying a lot just for them that they can meet some friends and kind of not be too stressed out about all the new, like new
Right.
bus, new school, new friends, new teacher, and all of that. But they seem like pretty outgoing and like they're kind of up for whatever. They're used to going to these different camps and meeting people. I mean, they go to the trampoline park and they meet kids, and I'm like, okay, great. I think they're going to be fine.
Your family's there
Yeah.
though, that they probably feel a bit more comfortable because they already have that family connection and grandparent connection, and they have that piece of the puzzle is kind of already like, oh, these are familiar. And then they're adding, even though they're adding in some new things, it's not everything from scratch.
Yeah. The other piece is that we went for the last 2 Sundays to a church that we had been to before. My dad goes there and we had been there like for Easter and stuff. But they went to like the kids' church for the 2 Sundays and they really enjoyed it and had a good experience. So that's great too, because even if we don't stay there forever, just to know that they had that good experience. And it's also something where I can go to church with my dad, which is kind of cool, to be able to sit with him and have that time together. So that was one of those initial anchoring things that I was feeling really like this is kind of an important thing for us at least to go and then for them to meet some other kids in that environment too, because I feel like you never know, it's not to say that they wouldn't be meeting kids of a similar faith in their schools necessarily. It's just that it's nice to have that kind of anchoring community presence of going to kids' church, seeing the same kids every week, and then like building those relationships, especially with the ages that they are and just like the lessons that they're learning and the values that are hopefully being instilled and that kind of thing. That was one of the priorities for me to kind of get us plugged in somewhere right away. So I'm happy we did that.
Yeah, and it's such a good churches have such a good community oftentimes of like they're so helpful and the kids groups are usually really fun and connecting. And so you just have to find a church that works for you in that church community. But when you do, it's super helpful because as you said, you see the same people every week. You maybe they don't go to your school or maybe they go to some other school, but if they're coming to that church and you're going to that church, you say that see that same community and the same people and the same kids. And it takes time, but you get to know everybody, the different people and you can connect with different families easily that way.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to that too. Like, we have not really met any of our neighbors yet. It's one of, I'm sure as I'm out in the yard more, I'll probably meet more people, but I'm sure that we will over time. But that's just kind of another thing, kind of missing our neighbors. And I know you have a really great friendships and network in your neighborhood too. So that's just one of those other things that I'm like, okay, kind of trusting that that'll take time and it'll just kind of happen organically. And in the meantime, kind of seeking out community. And I have noticed in the hustle and bustle of like all of the to-dos, I do want to maybe join one of the women's ministry groups that are offered at the church, or perhaps doing like a Mom's Next or something, because it is, even though I have friends from high school, like some that are still in this area, and like cousins and that kind of thing, I feel like it could be very easy to just ignore my need for women friends. Like, it would be
Yeah.
very easy for me to just focus on like, oh, the business and oh, the kids and getting them settled. And then meanwhile, I'm like, well, why do I feel kind of lonely? Well, it's important, to kind of maintain or to build some of those new friendships. And it's hard. Like, it's hard to do
So hard.
in this phase of life. It's not like I'm going to the playground and like meeting, other moms that have kids that are 2 or 3 years old at the playground. Like, it's not that anymore. So that is something that I also want to prioritize. I think that'll be really important for my mental health, like my soul health, to kind of have a place to connect with other women in
Yeah.
like a similar season, and maybe even, connect with some of those friends from high school and just kind of like see how everyone's doing and, go out for dinner or something with them.
Yeah, I know. Usually Mops Next and Mops groups all start in kind of the fall. And so you have a little bit of time before you can jump in to get kind of settled and get your schedule a little bit more on top of things and like, okay. But so I know it's an amazing community. I love the Mops community, the Momco groups. I think especially you can connect with moms in that season when your kids are in a specific season. It's a lot easier to connect. But as you said, you're not going to the park. You're not.
Yeah.
So it's harder to find those connections if you don't have a community like your church or Mops Next or like a hobby or a community group that you're in. You almost have to seek out those communities to join and then from there connect with people.
Yeah, we got a membership to the local trampoline park, but it is like, okay, can I get some work done while the kids jump around and I don't have to be watching them? Yes, that's nice. However, it is loud.
It's
It's
so
like right
loud.
it's like right near all the arcade games, and plus like kids are running around screaming,
Yeah.
and it's sticky and it's like kind of gross, and I'm like, okay, I don't really think this is going to be the place where I'm building friendships with moms. Like, I don't think this is happening. It's just more like it's an end means to an end. Like, okay, go jump, get some energy out. I'm going to catch up on my work for 2 hours and then we're going to go and we're going to use a lot of hand sanitizer.
A lot, like a lot. Oh,
But yeah, so I think having a more quiet, conversationally friendly, activities. And that's a great reminder about those starting in the fall. So I can do a little bit of research as to kind of like where
right.
those groups
Yeah.
are and that.
Settle in a little and then be like, okay, I'm not going to do this until the fall. Like, check out which ones.
Yeah.
I know I wanted to join one. And so I just found one online and was like, hey, can I join? And I think I joined over the summer. And so then they said, yeah, we're starting in the fall and this is what we're doing. This is where we meet. And so I like just jumped in, but it was great to connect with people over the summer and then have a little bit of like, okay, I can figure out how to work this into my schedule. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the trampoline park is so funny. We got passes to Great America. And so my husband was like, one of us can just go. We'll just pay for a ticket because you get a discount by having a pass. So we'll pay, on their ticket. And we'll just sit at Starbucks there and work. And he tried it and he was like, it's so noisy. It's so loud. I went outside, but it's still loud. And the kids are like going from, roller coaster to roller coaster to roller coaster. And then he'll just be planted somewhere at the park. And then they'll come back and connect with them and then go back out. And I'm like, I don't know about this. He's like, oh, we'll try it a few times.
Yeah, we got the summer pass. So really, we'll just see how it goes through August. And it's like, but it has already paid for itself as far as how frequently they want to go, which kind of, surprised me. But we did join a pool that my parents also belong to that has a water slide and stuff. We joined the Y. So I'm hoping to be able to maybe do Zumba classes or, something like that. So that's all good stuff. We got library cards. And so that all happened within the first 3 days. I was like, talk about priorities. I'm like, these kids need some books to read because we don't, this should not be shocking. We don't own a lot of books. We use the library extensively, right? And so I'm like, okay, we got to get our library cards and go over to that library and get a ton of books out because the thing that I can't stand the most about summer is kids asking for snacks or what to do every 5 minutes. So trying to be like, go read a book, or they've been helping with some chores and we've been getting, unfortunately, a lot of the Lego sets did not make the move without broken pieces, which I probably should have just had us move it and not the movers. But so we have Lego sets that need to be put back together and making sure we have all the pieces and that kind of thing. So we definitely have activities and projects to do, but yet every minute they're like, what do we do now? What do we do now? And I'm like, oh my gosh, is it like most parents? Is it back to school? Yet?
Yeah. Lego set. Nah.
I know. They're like, yeah, not now. And I'm like, okay. But yeah, it's been, again, another reason why it's great to have the grandparents because they're like, oh, we can take them to the pool. And I'm like, okay, great.
Take them.
Take them. But yeah, and I do appreciate some things about summer. It's not my favorite season, but to have some of those things, we're going to go to a 4th of July get together at my in-laws and, having some of those get togethers, pool time, an occasional trampoline park. I'm not mad about it, but I definitely, and if anyone's listened to any of our episodes, they know the structure of having knowing what my day is going to look like makes me very happy. And then the kind of loose, non-existent structure that sometimes happens over the summer, it is challenging. So I at least have some structure in the mornings for them, but it's more okay, what's the weather? What are we doing this afternoon? We're prepping for Toy Story 5 by watching 1 through 4.
Awesome.
Subsequent nights, so we could see it when it comes out. The things that are important, right? Watching all the Toy Stories. But yeah, so being able to kind of have fun and also hopefully have a little bit of structure so we can try to get some work done.
Yeah, I just did an episode about how do you make structure out of summer when there is no structure? What do you do for those weeks? And then I just was recording another episode of now that it's June, what do you think that we're halfway through summer? So what things have you enjoyed? What things do you still want to do in this last, in time, even though you're getting a little tired of your children being at home and no structure? What can you do to enjoy those last few weeks? And then what kind of things can you do to transition to the fall where you will have structure? Because it's that little how can I enjoy these last few weeks, even though they might be a little different and I'm kind of done with them, but knowing that they're going to be flexible for now and that won't be the case later.
Yeah. Well, I have to listen to those episodes.
Yeah.
I mean, there have been some things where, for example, we set the table, for dinner or whatever meal, and then the kids are like, "Oh, can we eat outside on the deck?" Well, we've never had a deck, we had a patio, but it's different having a deck and we have wooded area behind our house, and so it's kind of that moment where you're like, "Yeah, let's change these out for paper plates and head out onto the deck or whatever," and just being able to kind of embrace sort of those little fun moments. Or I was at the grocery store yesterday, just going through my list. I'm very much the list follower. And then I was like, oh, they have ice cream and popsicles on sale most places right now. because of
Right.
4th of July, right? So I was like, okay. And so I got some like fun ice cream and popsicles that I don't
Aw.
usually get.
Yeah.
Again, not going crazy, but then it's just like this little thing that's kind of different and special so that, oh, we can kind of have a fun popsicle on the deck, after dinner. And for me, it's like those kind of little things where it's not adding so much to my mental load, but it's just being able to have it be something special, like something
Right.
different,
Right.
for summer. So trying to incorporate just like some of those little things. And luckily, my kids, they are easily entertained by
And amused.
trampoline parks and ice cream. Like they could just do that every day and they would be
Right.
perfectly happy.
Right.
And
It's
so
those
they're
little things.
trying out all the ice cream places around here. That's like a fun bucket list thing to do.
It's fun to find your favorite ice cream place.
Yeah. Or even with like the parks or like the outdoor areas, like, oh, yeah. Oh, I remember going there, but it had been, a year ago when we weren't living here. And so now we get to explore it as like, oh, we live 15 minutes away now. So this is a place we could go, play putt-putt here. And there's a church near here that the building used to be an amusement putt-putt place. And they actually let you do it for free. So you can go play putt-putt during their church hours for free, which is kind of cool, right? So like that's on the list of something to check out because it's something a little bit different, and fun.
I love how you've made it like, let's find the best ice cream place. You've made it like, let's do this adventure. Our kids, sometimes they'll go with my husband. And one time they tried to find the best place for chicken wings and they timed it so that they could get it from all these different places and it'd still be hot. And so then they timed it to get all these and tried all four of them and then ranked them. So it's just making something really fun and adventurous out of what you're already doing or something that's an easy lift, as you said. Let's just find the best ice cream place. We'll just try all these different ones.
Yeah, the easy lift is definitely important, but then it does kind of add a little fun to like, your normal routine or what you might normally do with your kids.
Yeah. So many great ideas as we wrap up of how to make the last few, weeks fun if you haven't, or things you might want to put in, or also just the idea of transitioning and decorating and overload. And then you don't have to do everything at one time.
No, because no one wants me to try to do it all at once because I will not be friendly to anyone. So I'm like, okay, slow down. Because when you start to like spiral and then also like in the middle of the night, if you wake up like I do from like a dream and then I'm like, oh, but what about this? I've had to really intentionally be like, right now I'm focusing on this one thing. And then you kind of just shut it down. Not that these other things aren't important, but we're focusing on the one thing right now. So brain, be quiet because we're going to get to those other things later. So it does take a lot of, for me, reminding myself and kind of that self-talk. This will happen, just not right now. And then being able to compartmentalize that for a later time.
Right. Or like mentally put a date on it. Okay.
Yes.
This thing, or even writing it down. This thing I will do in August, or this thing I will do at the end of July. We've mentioned, but women's brains are like a pop-up window that keeps popping up and you can't exit out or delete it. Guys can just be on one thing and then be like, yeah, think about that again. And so, but when we're often thinking about 15 zillion things. So writing it down, taking it out of your brain, but putting a date on it can also help to, I will get to that, but it's going to be later.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Well, I'm so excited and I can't wait to hear how the rest of your summer goes. And we'll just keep checking in on your house and your whole transition. Won't be a while.
Yeah. Well, hope everyone is enjoying their summer so far. And yeah, we're always happy to hear from you and anything you're doing and any of the tips that you have to share as well.
Fun. All right. Well, thanks, my friend.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey Mama, thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's show, could you please share this episode with another mom who is feeling overwhelmed? Also, it would mean the world to me if you could leave a 5-star written review wherever you listen to your podcast. Finally, if you would like more support, come on over to our free Facebook group, tinyurl.com/moms overcoming overwhelm. Can't wait to connect with you soon.